We've been living in our combi van for the last 4 years, and this morning we flew up to the Gold Coast to check out our new potential adventure car. I'm feeling so excited, but also so nervous for this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're messaging him. Here it is. We had a thorough look at the Land Rover and took it for a test drive before heading down to stay with Jordan's sister in the Northern Rivers. We have a few nieces and nephews as well, and it's always crazy to see just how much they've grown between each visit. We thought we would end up back here once we grew tired of living on the road full time, but as you may have experienced, things don't always pan out how you think they will. We've been following the flow of life for quite a while now, and this year it led us to South Australia instead of back to the east. We had a few plans for this trip, including the car purchase, which we decided we needed a few extra days to think about, and we also had a trip to the farm with Jordan's family, who we don't get to see nearly as much as we would like to. The farm is up a mountain range and is therefore at a much higher altitude. This means it's always a few degrees cooler. The weekend brought misty mornings and crispy nights, which made it all the more cozy. For the first time this year, it made me feel super excited for the winter season ahead. We're spending the Easter weekend with Jordan's family at his sister's cattle farm. It's about 3 hours inland from the coast in a small town called Glen Elgin. I've been here a few times before, but since the last time we were here, they've renovated this little cottage and it now has such a cozy feel to it. The rest of the family and all the nieces and nephews are at the big house on the property. There's a bit of work to do this weekend mustering, and last night we sorted through all of the female baby calves. So basically they have to decide which ones they want to keep on the farm and which ones they want to on-sell to other farms. I find it so interesting being exposed to this side of the farming industry. The cattle here have a really good life in these lush, wide open spaces.
Oh, you smell that? No, I'm at the ticket, Mum.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Crashed the drone into a tree and it's gone.
Sorry.
Oh, did you say that? I thought you were joking. I was like, nah.
We managed to save the last video on our drone and we debated going on a trek to find it, but in the end decided it wasn't worth getting lost along the beaten track for. I was definitely disappointed that Jordan crashed the drone, but it was a good opportunity for me to practice non-attachment and forgiveness.
So agile.
Good gear.
We've done some mustering and now we're doing some training with the baby calves. This is so that when they're older they don't get stressed running through the cattle yards, and then at the end they get some hay as a reward. We're getting some music on for the cows.
They like some tunes, eh?
This is square one. That's square two. Square three.
I think so. Like, open these two gates, head over there.
Good job, Indy. Gonna get him in there.
Seems like an easy paddock, but when you've got the young calves all together and then they get into there by themselves, they're like, we don't.
It's our last night on the farm and we're about to hop in the buggy and head down to have a big bonfire. Let's go. This is gonna be huge. Is all that gonna burn?
Ideal.
What's this? Cub Scouts lesson number 150.
I didn't know that diesel
Diesel.
wasn't quite so explosive.
It is such a beautiful morning on the farm, and today we are leaving and heading back towards the coast to Brisbane. We're going to be staying with Jordan's other sister and his mom for a few days before heading back to SA. While we've been here at the farm, we've been thinking about the Land Rover purchase before diving in. We were going to get a mechanic to look it over this week, but after talking with a few people who own Land Rovers already, it seems like the verdict is they're very epic cars, but they are a little bit of a money pit. Since we already have Stella, who is very high maintenance, we're thinking it may not be the smartest idea to have two vintage cars that both require a lot of money and a lot of work. It's a bummer because I was really excited about this one, but it just doesn't seem like it was meant to be. One of our good friends said, if you want to go into the bush in style, take a Land Rover, and if you want to come back, take a Land Cruiser. And I feel like that just said everything we need to know about this decision. The reason why we're wanting to buy a car up this way in the first place is because we have a storage bay on the East Coast. We've been sending boxes back to there throughout the years while we've been living on the road. And while we've been in SA for the last few months, we've decided that we want to make that our base. So we thought it would be a good idea to buy a car up here, pack up our storage bay, and move all of our stuff down to SA. We've been loving the feeling of being down there, and we can see ourselves living there maybe long term. So it just makes sense to do it this way. We did find one other car that we're gonna go look at in Brisbane tonight. If this isn't the one, we're gonna book flights and just fly back to SA on Thursday without any of our stuff. So hopefully this is the car that we've been looking for. We're at car check round 2.
Fly Zara down, you can take it on some adventures.
Oh yeah.
So
are you going?
Camping.
Are you going with Jordan?
Yeah.
So
When you're older, you can come down and do some photos, some camping.
We're cruising in our new car. It feels so weird and feels so different to Stella or any other car I've been in. Now we're heading straight to our storage bay because we don't have too much time to pack everything up and start heading south. But I'm so glad we found a car. This is going to be such a big job. I'm not sure how we're going to fit everything in our storage bay into this small car. How are we going to fit all of this?
Crazy.
Oh my goodness. This is stressful. It didn't take long for us to realize that there was no way all our stuff was going to fit, so we went searching for a trailer. We looked at a few secondhand ones, but in the end figured it would be easier to just buy a new one, which we'll probably just sell down in SA.
Do you like blue?
Yep.
4's gotta be blue.
Since it was brand new, we had to go to the Department of Transport to get it registered, which was very busy and took quite a while. We then went back to the storage bay to pack up the last of our things. We were so excited to finally be nearing the end of this big job. Right, she's empty. Now to load up the last bit of our stuff and then hit the road. We were exhausted by the end of the day, but knew we had a 23-hour drive ahead of us, so we got in the car and began driving southwest. We're about 15 hours into our 23-hour drive back to South Australia. They're predicting for some flooding in New South Wales and Queensland, so we packed everything up and hit the road as quickly as we could. It's been raining the entire trip and only just stopped. I wish I could fly the drone to show you guys just how wet it is out here. Last night we drove for a while into the dark, and once it got quite late we just pulled over and ended up sleeping in the Bandera. We pulled out a bunch of rugs and some of our clothes from the storage bay and used that as mattresses and pillows. Tonight we're debating getting a motel, but I feel like we're probably just going to end up sleeping in the back of the car again. We have some pretty mixed feelings about our purchase right now. I have faith that we will make it a good car, but I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have purchased it if not for wanting to pack up our storage bay and bring everything with us down to South Australia. There are a lot of things in the car that need fixing up. We feel a little bit like we got ripped off, which is hard to know when you're buying a secondhand car, whether someone is being honest or not. For now, I'm just very excited to get back down to SA, and we'll deal with all the rest later.